do like that feature of the design. Joshua was aware that if you over mechanized the ending, okay,
Mm.
finish here, and you can't finish until you
Mhm.
get there or anything, that it screws up all the emergent properties of the story.
Okay. Let's see. So my goal in this is to close this place because this is horrible.
Oh.
They are employing aliens
Mm-hmm.
exclusively, excuse me,
Oh,
and there is small bugs crawling all over the place.
well, something.
And don't tell me I'm here at the wrong time. Don't tell me things just have arrived. I mean, not going to happen. So let me see here. If I want to close down this place, I need a lot of D10s, right?
Mm-hmm. You monster!
You know who taught me, right?
I know.
Taught
Yeah.
me, sorry.
I know.
I'm really. We have to close this down just because I'm
I
getting
completely
really
get
tired.
it. Fortunately, the game is on your side. We could, this might even be the last one. Story credits or no story credits, we will see.
I
So
do
let's
have to roll at least one D4,
D10,
right?
one D10,
At least
right.
one D10.
Right. But so okay, with that in mind, now Henna, you've got 4 dice to choose. What goal do you have in mind?
Mm. Well, I mean, is it enough to say that I get to keep it open?
No, that's what your D4s are saying. I want to know what your
yeah.
D10s say.
Okay. Is it again something bad for the ministry?
It can be.
Okay.
Or you could run this inspector out of the neighborhood.
Right, get him fired or something. Poor guy. Go on. But yeah, but
it's a human, so maybe she doesn't like. He doesn't like him.
Whatever Henna wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess like I don't know. Is okay? Maybe it's too much because like then I'd say like I'd want the whole ministry to
evaporate
shut down.
Yeah. Well, you could discredit them badly. Yeah, you could say it's time to discredit these bastards and get them off my back and mine everyone else's too. We can have food inequality back. That's exactly what we want. Right.
Yeah, like renew the like maybe there can be some ministry, but like a ministry who actually like values actual food.
Okay. You know what? That's perfectly good. That's your goal. You want to change the world starting at this little store, right? Okay.
And the food ministry should be about.
Now, depending on the outcomes, this could close out the story goal. Certain combinations wouldn't do it, I think, but some combination might do it. So, yes, we will see whether Yim gets crushed beneath the wheels of progress. So, in that case, choose your D10s and your D4s. Sam and I will ready our instruments of destruction, and I think we are ready to go.
Okay, I'm using 6 credits. I'm going to have 5 D10.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow.
Ruthless.
All right. So go ahead. Let's roll. Evil D4.
Okay.
Let's start with Henna's D10s. You're looking at that's a face. You have a face on. I want to know what your D10s say.
I can tell you that it's 6.
6 is the highest. Okay. What's your highest D4, Helma?
A 2.
You have a 4 for Henna. Okay, what's your target number? You are trying. Oh, I forgot to ask which one things you are using.
I don't know, like what
The
would be
love,
something.
fear, administration.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
know what I'm using.
Right.
So
I assume, Henna, are you using the organizing, the grassroots organizing?
Yeah.
That
That's
seems right. Okay.
yeah.
So for that one, what is the number that you have?
Well, I have 6 here, so
You needed to get under a 6, correct?
yeah.
Okay. So wait, let's see, is that how it works?
she is, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think if something is wrong about that. Because that would, by bringing the number down, Helma is actually making it easier, not harder. Let me double check this. Oh no, it goes the wrong way. Okay, that's right. If she's trying to roll under, then your dice are going to, Helma's D4 is going to move it the wrong way, up or down. Do you see what I mean? Right?
So adding the 2
Right. So
for
she,
her number.
right, exactly. You add the 2 to her number. So she has an 8.
Okay.
Right. Whereas you wanted to roll a 5 or less, correct? Right. So, so that's the situation for you. Now, what about for Helma? Your D10s.
I'm using fear.
Mm-hmm. Fear. Okay, so you're trying to roll over a number, I think,
So I'm
right?
trying to roll over.
Uh-huh.
I rolled an 8.
Ooh. And so what's the target number?
It didn't change, right? So it's 3.
3. Okay. Ooh, you can bring the wait. No, we're wrong. You're
Is
good at
this
love.
right?
No, it's the other way around. So you got an 8 and you're trying to get under a 3. You're trying to get a 1 or a
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Right. And so Helma or Henna, what's your D4?
3.
No, D4. What's your highest D4?
Yeah, 3.
3. Okay, so her 8 just became an 11.
I'm so fucked.
Yeah, you're like 10 points away from your 11 points away from your target number. Okay, so I think both of you are failing at this moment, right?
Yes.
Is that right?
So
Okay.
what's going to happen?
Yes, so, well, hold on. Sam, what's your highest D4?
4.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you could help Henna.
Yeah, so Henna, what was it you were trying to accomplish?
To reform the ministry so that it includes regular food as well as the tech food.
Okay.
Through her grassroots organizing from the store.
Right.
She had a bake sale.
Clear.
And,
Yeah, this is clear, right?
And it all went from there. The bake sale that changed the world.
It makes sense if like you're including these aliens in like the staff that they are helping, and they have a wide reach because a lot of them have been thrown out of their homes.
Well,
but they
hold on.
still know
The
a
aliens
bunch of
are my
people.
minutia, not yours.
Right. Okay, so I'm thinking about housing, how housing is helping specifically. That's interesting.
Well, it's difficult, but
it is difficult. Yeah. Is housing helping?
We could make suggestions.
Yes, please. I would make suggestions.
Because he has the authority. It doesn't mean he has to invent it. He just can say yes or no to the better idea. I'm going to suggest that I'm going to suggest that the various. I mean, this sounds a little bit Disney, but basically, you've defied the whole. You've defied the whole. Aliens can't work here kind of thing, right? I mean, because Helma failed, so therefore you can. You're going to stay in business, and basically you force a redistricting, a reorganization of who can live here, and that combines the issue of aliens' residences with
Hmm.
the issue of the food reform. See what I mean? Basically, you bring two political movements together.
Yeah, yeah,
Does that
yeah.
make sense? Right?
That makes a lot of
Right.
sense. Yeah.
So, and so then that tips it, in your favor that you managed to reform the ministry. Wow. So that's a very decisive failure to close the store, plus the bringing together of those two issues, which actually, reforms the ministry's rigidity about this. One can hope that food inequality, remains a priority. Food equality remains a priority, but it's not as dogmatic as it was. Right. So I'm calling the story goal over. What do you guys think? Yeah. Let's take a look at the situation for that. The rules. We've Helma. If you got 5 minutes left in you, then that's all we need, I think.
Yeah.
So here it tells us.
Just feeling defeated.
Oh. Um, So, well, you didn't play a protagonist who got like, in these stories, these science fiction stories, how bad it can turn out for the
Yeah,
protagonist at
somebody's
the end
with a
sometimes.
dragon. I know
Right,
precisely what's happening here.
right. So, yeah, I mean, we could, most of these 70s science fiction movies ends with the protagonist dead in a Christ figure, right? So,
Yeah.
let's see here. Um,
Get your damn Disney movie. Go
yeah,
ahead.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Um, Indian story.
No, I'm really
Right.
joking.
No, I know.
I enjoyed it.
There we go. Then, well, there you go. They forgot the final intent, and it worked. And depending on like the setting and stuff, we could keep playing in the. Just to let you know, we could keep playing in the same um, setting, but what we would do is have to come up with a new shock.
Mm-hmm.
And then people who have protagonists, there are rules for keeping your old protagonists and what you do to have to change them, or you can make up a new protagonist or whatever. But the thing I'm going to say is I forgot the game has a learning curve. One thing that you should have known, Henna, is if you lose a conflict, you do have the opportunity to ruin one of your links and turn it into a new conflict from scratch that continues it, right? So, for example, you could have lost your wife to get another shot at getting through those papers. But that's sort of like a secondary technique, and I didn't want to bog us down with subroutines in the rules. Just letting you know that that's what the links are for. The links are there to be sacrificed for your effectiveness if you want to do that. So, is that so? Anyway, that's shock. It's got a big learning curve, but I think it's functional enough that once you know how to play it, you can actually, and once you recognize what it's like to play an antagonist, especially, you can have some pretty powerful science fiction that comes out of it. I mean,
I
sometimes
would
it's a
like
little,
to
yeah,
retry it sometime.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, I'm only now starting to grasp what's
right,
going on.
right.
So
No, I completely get that. I mean, this was definitely a learning run for it, because of the weird rolling and a few other things. But I really do like the organic GMing, right? That's
Yeah. It's
really
really
nice,
cool.
and the fact the audience members have just enough to do mechanically,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is there's a nice bounce in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
it really changes things.
Yeah. Mhm. And but it's not guaranteed, and which way. I mean, I could help that person, but if I don't want, well, screw that person, right? So it's kind of nice. The problem with a game like this is forgetting to role play. It's the dialects problem. Dialect is a
Yeah.
Yes.
modern
Yeah.
example. Games like this, Shock came out in 2006.
Oh, okay.
Games like this, like Primetime Adventures, which came out in 2004, they're brilliant, But if you forget that they have to take place in locations, we have to maintain an imagined image of the characters. I had to know in my head what Yim looks like, right? I mean, you have to. If you lose that among the group, it doesn't mean they all have to agree. A lot of us can make up our own. We all had a different image of the equipment, right? A different image of the inspector. That's fine, but
Hmm.
we have to be working in the imagined situation just like we're working with the elf and the dwarf and the axe and the goblins, right? We have to have the same feeling toward the fiction. And if we have to role play in character to do it, then we should, right? And so otherwise we end up kind of script writing and storyboarding, you know what I mean? Kind of story
Hmm.
conference mode, or explaining things to each other, which is horrible.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like what happened in Dialect.
right. And
In
so,
which game
right,
I still don't know how I would have been able to stop that. In this game, it's stated, at least in the paper you gave
right,
us,
right.
who should have the
Well, it's
authority
very clear here. Yeah, the rules for it are very,
about the
very
scene
nice and clear.
setting.
And you can see why I was so intense in my opinions about dialect is because I have worked through things like shock, where it is, I know it can be organized properly. So so therefore, but really, for a weird game like this, it's going to take one round of learning, right? One
Mm,
round
Hmm.
of getting it, and then people get very much more aggressive. The shocks or the issues become things that people are really ready to die for.
mm,
And so that's how you get Planet of the Apes or things like that, the really good stuff. So the thing that I'm going to suggest is to say, thanks, this was great to share. I wanted to share one of the weirder games with Henna too, just to, some of
shock
these can get
therapy.
some of these can get pretty strange in their procedures, and also to um, just be able to make up something too, where it in this case it's really about the protagonist, right? I mean, we I'll give you my impression. Yim was like one step away from being like an anti-vaccination asshole, right? One of these crazy natural foods people who don't care how many people get sick, it's natural, right? One of these
Hmm.
jerks, naturalnews.com, these terrible people. But it turns out he loved his alien wife, right? And wasn't going to let her go. Wasn't going to, he was going to fight to
It
keep
was
her,
beautiful.
right? And second, um, that second that he ultimately his goal was he was happy with reforming the ministry, right? It wasn't anarchist. It wasn't like, not anarchist
You
isn't the
didn't
right word. He
bomb it.
wasn't. Yeah, he did exactly. He didn't bomb it, right? So it ended up actually being sort of a, I guess you could say, kind of a centrist. Policy will find the right
Hmm.
center. With citizen activists and well-meaning administrations will possibly find a way, which I don't actually believe is true, but that's what our story said. That's what
For a while, at
happened.
least.
Right, right. This time,
Yeah, for a little bit before.
this time,
Yeah.
this time it worked. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just me sort of decompressing a little bit about what did we do.
But Jim was in the middle, kind of.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
isn't that kind of like what he wanted, sort
Yeah.
of? So it
Yeah.
turned out just what he wanted, and he shaped the world as he wanted,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, it's an activism story. I kind of like it, right?
Uh,
And I thought that too. That well, like I said, I really like the way different people's authorities over things found ways to make combinations inside the fiction itself, so that, well, I really like that. I really like it when I get to say this and you get to say that, and then we're looking at something that is the way it is in the fiction, and we're like, wow, look at that. Who knew?
far nicer is whatever my cynical old woman mind would have come up with.
Right. Oh, yes, yes.
Given the parts.
No, I completely agree.
Absolutely,
Right.
no, absolutely, yeah.
I'm-
It's like,
I'm
how
so-
is it we ended up all being such optimists? How did that happen?
Yeah, what did happen? Where are
That's
we?
actually a
Was this from the
very
80s?
interesting
Before
emergent.
anything happened?
Yeah. That's
Where we
actually
all still believed in our goals?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to process that one. That's really interesting, actually. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Henna,
Yeah.
thanks for staying up so late. I appreciate it.
No,
No
it was
problem.
nice to see
Yeah.
you again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
was
this was
missing
fun.
you.
Take care, everyone.
See you all.
Right.
Bye bye.
Take care.